And we are live. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. Happy holiday, pre-holiday week. Um, welcome to another session of highlighting of owning your life. And we have a very special guest today. Her name is Cheryl Howard. And before we get to that, I'd just like to talk about, the things that we have been going through, the we went from one extreme to the other, and we just keep moving, right? And this is part of owning your life. So with that, my name is Noreen N. Henry, and I am your Victorious Living strategist, and I'm the founder of Victorious Living Culture, where my passion is to help people to move from mediocre to victorious living. And that's really owning your life. And so let me introduce our special guest, Cheryl Y. Howard. Let me read her bio. Hi, Cheryl.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Welcome. Oh,
Yeah.
you are welcome. You are so welcome. So let me give you her bio. So Cheryl, um, if I get to the right spot,
Right.
and actually, and how we met, how we met. We are cousins. We are cousins. So it's so nice to have met you. So nice to see all the great things that you are doing. It's just so wonderful to
Mm,
watch. So
right.
let me read your bio. So Cheryl is an inspirational and transformation strategist and speaker, minister, pastoral counselor who inspires others to live their visions. That's awesome. They live their visions, dreams, and passions.
Mm.
Her passion and motto is motivating others to break through barriers and propel into purpose. I love that. She is the founder of the Goddaughters Workshop, His Garden Naturals product line, Get Your Life Back Academy, and Healing for Your Soul Ministries. She's got another powerhouse that's got so much going on, so much good stuff going on. Cheryl is also a mother, mental health professional, Amazon best-selling author, certified life purpose coach, blogger, and podcaster. Cheryl provides coaching services and pastoral counseling online and face-to-face. She she also often uses live streaming to provide mind transformation, emotional wellness, and healthy relationship communication strategies. Cheryl has an MA in Human Services Counseling, training in graduate clinical social work, an MA in Theological Studies, and is also a licensed cosmetologist. Cheryl is the jack of all trades. That's what you need cosmetology needs. go to go to
Yeah.
Cheryl. Mental health, go to Cheryl. You got it's wonderful. And I have to laugh as well because that's what they say about Jamaicans, right? Jamaicans have 10 job, 10 job. I remember the show how many years ago in Living Color
Yes,
where
that's
they
what
would have this the
yeah.
skits with and
Always bring it
you
up.
got all right.
I clean the
So
plane, I drive the plane, I do everything.
sorry. Right. And it's true. It's ambition as well. It's ambition, and then with what you're doing, it's all about helping people. You care for mankind. You
Yeah.
care. So let's talk about owning owning your life. Like, were you always owning your life, or was there a point in time where you realized, wait a minute, I'm not owning my life, right?
Yeah. Of course, when we're young, we trying to find out who we are, looking for identities and all that kind of stuff. But I think when I really realized I'm not owning I realized a little bit like in my early 20s, because you see people who kind of moved on in certain areas of their life and
Yeah.
you feel stagnant and you're like, you need to do something different. And I
Right.
think just going through like my divorce and everything and realize, as me and my daughter, I got to do some things, I got to make some things happen. That's when I started just putting everything back in motion. I dropped out of
Right.
school and I had to go back to
Mm,
school. And so I realized, I want to have more. It just need,
Yeah.
I just needed to get the confidence.
That's a key word.
Especially
Yeah.
dropping out of school, older, thinking, oh
Yeah.
God, I'm gonna do math. Because I was good at reading, but that
Yeah.
math scared me. But anyway,
Yes. Yeah. I understand. I totally understand with the math. You
yes,
know, I say that's what we have the calculator for. Um,
yep,
but it's awesome though because so that means because some people will like for me, I didn't get it until I was much older, right?
mhm,
Like I knew there was things, I knew there was more, and there was different things that happened that was stunting me, right? That was
exactly,
keeping me stuck. So after a while, it changed, right? And so where I properly owned my life, because that's what I realized, like I was not properly owning it. I was
right,
not properly okay with what I'm doing now. I am
right,
charting the course of it. So that's owning your life, not just letting
right,
life happen. So you took action
right. That's what I was
when you
gonna
came
say.
to
Not
that
let,
point
yes,
with after the divorce and you with your daughter. So at that
right,
point, that's when you made that change to
yes,
fully own your life.
right.
So like what steps did you take to change it? What were some of the things that
But
you did?
that was definitely a major thing. So I had to start from getting my GED, then finding out what I wanted to do in life. So I really started looking, become introspective, looking within inside myself, my passions, my
Mhm.
purpose, and then seeing what kind of impact I have on other people. I started listening to what other people were saying too, because I
Yeah,
think they're indicators of your passion and your purpose. And
yeah,
sometimes you hear something over and over again. It's like it kind of points you to, and then you get confirmation because I'm
yeah,
a believer, and so you see things, you get visions, and then God
yeah.
sends people to kind of encourage you and affirm that thing. So I was
Right,
like, okay, so this is what I'm supposed to do. So that's
right.
kind of what got me to the mental health field because I knew one thing for sure is that I wanted to serve people. And I knew counseling, coaching, social work would be a big way because people would say I do
Mm,
that naturally.
right,
So I just said
right.
that gave me some direction to work towards, like the undergrad, and then I got the masters, and everything is, and everything to me all work together. They all coincide
Yes.
with each other.
Yeah,
The ministry,
yeah,
the counseling. I'm like,
yeah,
okay, I'm
yeah.
definitely here to serve. So
Right.
I took the steps I
Amen.
needed to take
Yes.
to make those things manifest.
Right.
Yeah,
And I like that you said too, because that we're dropping out of school,
yeah,
right? So this is to say to people that's watching, that's on live or on the replay. Cheryl gave a perfect example of you don't have to stop. You don't have to give up. Okay.
right,
She did not graduate school, but she went on to get her GED and now she's got a master's, right? So you don't have to stop because of, the choices that we made when we're younger, right? We can keep going forward and just owning your life, right? Because that's
right,
what you did. You owned it. Like, because
yeah,
I know there's, because it's life. So some people do, a lot of people do drop out, right? But this is to show that no, you don't have to. Okay, that happened at that time, but like
right,
now, no, pick yourself up
right,
and like what Cheryl did, she looked inside because that's an important key is
right,
looking inside because when we don't look inside, we're always looking outside and there's no change. We
right.
we we end up staying stuck if we just stay looking on the outside.
Right.
Right.
You know what,
So
Noreen? I made sure I was around people who were progressive, who were moving,
yeah.
and then kind of become encouraged by that. Other women and even men. I thank God he put men in my life too, like brothers in God who were affirming. Because I know a lot of times as women, a lot of us didn't get the affirmation from our fathers.
Hmm.
So I know that women get a lot of confidence when they're affirmed by men, like their dads. It starts there. And so I was around the company of people who were all encouraging and they saw me. They saw me and it made me feel good.
Right.
Wow, Cheryl, you're this and you're that. And so again, confidence building, confidence building.
Yeah.
I can do this. Then I started speaking in and praying in it
Right.
and
Amen.
citing scripture, and just
Right.
believing that.
Right.
Yeah, that's my walk.
That's wonderful. That is so
Yeah,
wonderful because that's another key point too.
yeah,
Is who you're around is extremely important.
yes,
It's can't say it enough. There's another thing that is there's so many things that's important. Like one is our words as well, but who we're around,
yeah,
because we become what we're around. As much as
right,
how we might think that we're strong,
Uh-huh.
whatever we won't change, but it does, and it doesn't happen overnight either. It's a subtle thing, right? So
Exactly.
then when it's happening, people don't even realize that it's
Right.
happening. Right. So
Exactly.
yeah, so and it's important to always be looking within so that we don't fall into that trap, but then always making sure that we're around people that's go like steps ahead of you, because that's
Yes.
what it is too. And then that's your progression. It shows you that where you're going. Right.
Right.
But who we're around is another key point
Right.
with owning your life. So thank you for sharing, Cheryl.
Yes.
So what advice would you give to somebody that wants to own their life, that they're not owning their life yet, or
Hmm.
they might not even be realize that they're owning it, that they're not owning it? Like, what advice would you give them to so that they can be on that path?
One thing I like to tell people is to take out the time to kind of get rid of a lot of distractions around them and get to know
Mm,
themselves. I think a lot of times we don't know ourselves because we're so busy in everybody else relationship or in
that's
dysfunctional
key.
relationships.
Awesome.
It's like date
Yeah,
yourself, go out with yourself so you can find out what your value is. That's the introspective piece. What your values are, what your strengths are, and taking that journey, I always say, of discovering and recovering, like I did. I had to go back and get things and take what I know God had for me when I realized how much I possess. And I tell other people, you have something. There's a purpose.
yeah,
There's something
yeah,
in you,
yeah,
but maybe you can't feel it a seed now because of
yeah,
life, because of trauma or
yeah,
something,
yeah,
and you kind of bury it in the closet. But when you start taking out time to get to know you and meet
yeah,
yourself,
yeah,
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 you got some value, you got some things in you, and
yeah,
so that's what
yeah.
I did. So that's what I try to help other people do. So I would tell them,
Awesome.
it's awesome to me when you take
Uh,
that time, you appreciate that discovery, that journey of
yeah,
recovering things and discovering things, and and being a believer, I just believe God will also put the right people in your life to help
yeah.
you bring that stuff into fruition.
Right,
Yeah,
right, right. And with that, because I like what you said, like just take time and discover yourself, right?
right,
Because there was a time in my life where I lost myself,
right,
right? So it's important to do that too with owning your life. So those that are listening and are not sure, take the time to discover, as Cheryl says, take the time to discover yourself,
right.
and like, uh-oh, we lost Cheryl, but she will be back. But that's important key, an important point, right? To discover yourself. What are your likes? What is it you like to do? What is it you don't like to do? So really take the time to learn about you. She's coming back in, but we know this is part of overcoming, by things happen, but we still keep going. Right? We don't give up. So thank you for coming back right back on. I knew you would, but we
I just
know
know
technology does not always cooperate,
it
but
doesn't.
we just come right back on and we just keep going. So yeah, so I was more talking more about with the discovery that
Yeah.
is so important, and it's important to do at a young age too. Like I feel that children should be taught these things,
Yes.
and so they grow up and they won't go through the hard knocks as much, like what we've gone through, right?
Right.
So like I know, like I say that the knowledge I have now, if I had it much younger, I would have made better choices, right? But then if I didn't go through all the things I went through, I wouldn't be where I am now.
Right.
so, so now all of my things is now helping other people,
Yes.
right? So God turns it around for good, and that's what I say, turns it around for good to help many.
That's right.
So, so yeah, so another key is taking the time to discover yourself, discover your likes, discover you. So, so is owning your life a one-time thing, or do you keep going? Like how is the
Um,
progression of owning your life? Like,
it's like I want to say both. I want to say it's a progression of owning your life. Then I want to say once you take ownership, then you continue the journey, like growing, elevating,
mm, mhm,
evolution takes
yeah,
place
yes,
because you're now
yes,
taking
awesome.
ownership, right? And then you're doing what you need to do to maintain, what you have and who you are. So yeah.
I like how you explained that, because right, because you're owning it.
Right.
Now you're owning it, whereas like say many years ago, like thought that we were owning it, but we really weren't. Not like
Right.
how we're owning it now,
Right.
but we're owning it and then we keep growing with it.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
We keep growing with it because because you keep evolving because you started with getting your GED
Exactly.
and then like
Yeah.
and now you have your master. So it's a progression.
Right.
And so, like, so even though we're on in our lives, it's not an overnight thing. We have to
Right.
keep learning, we keep growing. And like, I'm an avid reader. And I go to, the conferences, go to do the different things
Right.
to help me in
Yeah.
life. So we're owning it, but we're still
Right.
progressing with it. Right,
And
right. I
then
love that. Love that.
that maintaining it, because some
Right,
things can try to come and pull you back, and you got to protect yourself. Whatever that looks
right,
like, you got to protect yourself. I always say
right.
protect who you are, protect your gifts, your talents, your anointing, all of that. You got to protect it.
Awesome, awesome. And the word says, guard your heart, right?
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah, guard your
Exactly.
heart. So yeah, we do have to be careful. It's a lot of challenges in life, but once we have the keys,
Right.
we work through and we get through. Because life is sweet, right? Life is sweet, but
Yeah.
it's how we live it. And one of the keys is owning your life,
Only
properly owning your life.
right.
So what's the next? So we've talked a little bit about some of the things you do, but what's some of the things that you're up to now?
Okay, so I started the. Okay, wait. Let me start from the mental health coaching, with the mental health counseling, which is my career by day. So I have the mental health counseling and coaching. So I do that by day. I help people with mental health diagnosis. Sometimes depression, anxiety. Sometimes even I do the parent coaching where you have parents who just really have a hard time of communicating. Maybe
Mm.
they're in a court system because. The relationship is so dysfunctional that the child may or children may be at risk of having to be put out of the home. So I come
Oh,
in and
wow.
try to do sessions with them. And the challenging thing I like even though it's sometimes very challenging working with co-parents, teaching co-parenting to parents who divorced.
Right.
Very
Wow.
true. So I get to do that too. And then aside from that is the life purpose coaching. So all the tools and things that I've learned in
Mm-hmm.
life and in my, from my career, I
Mm-hmm.
started the life coaching business. So basically I'm doing the same thing, but I'm doing it for myself.
For
And
the
I'm really trying
right.
to grow that. And then, with this, what comes with that is the speaking, the empowerment, the workshops I try to
Mm-hmm.
do
Mm-hmm.
online. And
Take out the word try. You're
I,
doing it.
right. I guess I was going to say, because I was getting ready to say COVID, them kind of came to play. So I'm doing it online a lot. Because I have some live ones set up for the summer, but it's like, I have to,
Mm.
not right now.
Right. 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 Right.
Right. So back to the summits. I got one book out. So it is a lot. I'm trying to finish writing. So every
Yeah.
time I get something, I just go and put it in there.
Right.
What else am I doing? So I have the
That's
product line, His God Naturals.
awesome. So
The
tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so let me see, what year was it? It was 2010. I was on unemployment. Let me just give you a little history. And I
Yeah.
remember I was sitting at the computer, and you on unemployment, you have to kind of report what jobs you're applying to.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
took a long
Yeah.
time. And I was just sitting. I said, God, they gotta be. I can't wait for somebody to open up their
Right.
door to me.
Right.
And I said, I know you've given me something in my hands. That's exactly what I said. I want to use what's in my hands. So of course I was already doing the hair piece, but he
Yeah.
reminded me that I always
Yeah.
wanted to make products. So it was the perfect time. I'm on unemployment. I'm looking for a job. I have hair clients. And so I started with the butters. And, my clients were my first testers, of course. And it's like my first batch came out great. And I just started selling them. Church, the
Look at
Walmart,
that. Wow.
different places. And so I got into that, which helps me today, Noreen, because now that I stopped doing hair for now because of the whole pandemic. I actually had a
Right.
call today. Somebody called and said, "You do braids?" I said, "I do, but not right now." So the product line helps me now. At least I have
Right.
part of my business. But
Yeah.
I went
Yeah.
back to school too. Like right before the divorce situation, I had graduated from cosmetology school.
Uh-huh.
Because I actually dropped out of cosmetology school in 17, 18.
Oh,
I
wow.
think because I didn't have, growing up in the projects, I didn't have a lot of people to push me. You always got your parents' encouragement, but I needed like more somebody to say,
Yeah.
no, stay in
Yeah.
school, do this, do that, be
Right.
great. So you can, so
It makes a difference.
it does when you speak into
Yeah.
somebody's life, you
Yeah.
speak the
Yeah.
vision. So, but God opened up the door. I went back again because it was something I was passionate about.
Right.
And I did that. And so that has helped me sustain life too. Like that's always my side hustle. I was doing it full time, but I'm also doing, I'm doing that part time. But
Right.
thank God the products now I can sell, sell that to make the extra money because I'm not
Right.
doing anybody's here right now. So that's his God natural is was birthed out of that.
Ooh,
And
sorry. Ooh, oh
I
my
was
word.
encouraged to
Ooh,
make that.
sorry.
I was encouraged to make that when your cousin was a little baby because she had eczema. And so I used to get
Oh,
natural
okay.
stuff anyway. I became
Okay.
like this health nut, just getting into everything
All
natural.
right.
And shea butter and a lot of stuff is great. So
Yeah.
I took that and said from that I just started, making. I'm still growing
That's
the line.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, but it's awesome. And that's doing. You're owning your life.
right. Exactly. Yes, I can't wait for somebody to give
And
me permission. I got to give myself permission.
that's so true. That is so true. Because if not, we end up stuck. We end
Let
up stuck.
life,
So we
let
have
life
to,
happen to you.
yeah, exactly.
Whatever happens,
Exactly.
no.
No, we have control. We take
Exactly.
ownership of it and not
Yes.
just let it happen. That's mediocre.
Right.
Mediocre. And so no, we don't need to be mediocre. We take control, own our lives. It's a progression, right? You started with
That's
your
right.
the school, and
Yeah.
then you went up to the masters, and you're doing all
Yes.
these different things. So it
Right.
it does not happen overnight.
Sure don't.
You just keep going. You just
Right.
keep going. And even in the times that we're living in, it's
Yes.
challenging, but
Yes.
you still keep going.
Yeah.
Still keep
Absolutely.
going. So
Hmm.
what words of encouragement would you give the viewer?
Um. Ooh, just always know that we're born with a purpose and a passion because as I heard a long time ago, there's a lot of people that go to the grave. You don't want to hear it, but it's
Yeah,
true. With
yeah,
talents and gift that they never.
yeah.
Now, of course, a lot of us would never maybe utilize every gift and talent because we can have so many.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
well, we can have a whole lot. But there's some major things I believe that God has given all of us, and I
yeah,
believe He put you here for a reason to make impact in some kind of way in the
yeah,
world. And
yeah,
so I would tell people to please go on a journey to do that because I believe when you operate your passion, your purpose, you enhance your quality of life. And
yeah.
I'm not even talking about just monetary things that bring you money, just engaging in things that bring you joy,
Yeah,
happiness. I tell people it could be simple things,
yeah,
being part of
yeah.
groups and clubs that are doing, they enjoying life, whether it's golf or bowling, horseback
Hmm.
riding. It's just
Hmm.
some people just not doing nothing. They just
Right.
work, school or church and that's it. And it's like there's so much more. And
Hmm.
I have to bring in my faith and to seek
Yeah.
God because He is a creator means that we are creative because the
Yes.
creator created us. So we have to have creativity, but learn
Yes.
how to tap into it and allowing yourself be open up to okay, there gotta be more. There have to be more. And sometimes
Mhm.
you have to get real aggressive. They got to be more than this.
Right. Right. Right.
And sometimes
And
it happen out of trauma, traumatic situations, sometimes unfortunately, but fortunately,
yeah.
whatever it takes to bring us to that point, as you say, to owning your life, if that's what it took, then that's what it took. Because once you're on
Right.
the other side, then you at a better place now. But of course, when you're in it, it's horrible. But when you come out of it, it's like,
Right.
wow, look at all this that was waiting for me on the other side. If
That's right.
like you said,
That's
I knew this before. Yep, yep,
it's right. And I like what you said with the creativity because we all have creativity. We come from God, right? We're
exactly.
all creativity, and we just take it one day at a time
Yes,
and just keep moving forward.
yes,
And stuff comes up, but we just keep going forward.
that's
So I
right.
love that, love that, love that. Because the
Yeah,
key too is the Lord. That's what makes a difference. That's what made the difference in my life, right?
yeah, number
But
one.
yeah,
Yes,
because even though stuff comes up, stuff happens, we still be happy, we still have joy, we still have peace.
right. That piece. Yes.
So actually, how can the viewers get in touch with you?
Okay, so YouTube, I'll come on every week. It's called Cheryl Howard, Get Your Life Back on YouTube. And I do, the motivational stuff and inspirational as well. You may hear me preaching, I may be counseling, giving life strategies, how
Yeah,
like emotional wellness piece, how to keep your body in a regulated state emotionally, how to cope through
that's
situations.
wonderful.
And then the other thing, of course, my main thing too is helping people heal over the traumatic experience and then also embracing their purpose and their passion and living in it a more meaningful and purposeful life.
Right.
and then with that, then you can really enjoy life. But so I take people through that whole process of finding their identity and all that stuff. So I'm also
Mhm.
on Instagram. So it's the same thing. Cheryl dot get your life back. Facebook is Cheryl Howard Get Your Life Back. So if you type in Cheryl Howard Get Your Life
You're
Back,
gonna
you'll
get.
find
You're
me.
gonna find it.
I have the audio podcast, SoundCloud, Apple iTunes, and Google Podcasts as well. Audio.
Wonderful. All good.
Yes.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Yes.
Wonderful. Because I like, as you mentioned, trauma. Because some people don't know that they're stuck in life because of the trauma.
Yes.
Right? Because many years I didn't know myself that the trauma affects your life, right?
Yes.
And then if there's trauma on top of trauma, and the
Yes.
trauma is something simple as because like for me, I say brokenness, right? So
Yes.
it's simple. It might not be seem something simple like I was telling somebody just the other day, like when we left England to come here,
Right.
that was traumatic
Yes.
because but at the time we didn't know it was
Right.
traumatic, so
Right.
it didn't show itself for me
Mm-hmm.
until only a few years ago. Like
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
only a few years ago it came up showing
Okay.
me like it bothered me now why we left. So I
Okay.
didn't realize that added another layer of brokenness. So with
Right. Right.
trauma, people don't realize that things that happen to you in life
Right.
brings trauma and it
That's
needs to
right.
be dealt with because it does affect you. It
Right.
does affect you, and so that's another important aspect to learn um, about trauma. We need to be educated on how trauma affects us,
That's right.
right? Because
Right.
when it's not dealt with,
Yeah. That's
it,
something
it
really.
it's it yeah yeah it stays. So I love that, love that, love that.
Mhm.
Well, thank you so much
Oh, thank
for
you.
coming on and sharing your story, sharing how you are owning your life. Like
Yeah.
it's powerful. It's
Okay.
powerful. You are an example to show that no, okay, I did this, but no, I can do that.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And you truly, truly own your life. It's an honor to have you on,
Thank
and
you.
to yeah, you are so welcome. And anybody that
Okay. I was excited.
reach out to Cheryl, reach out to her, and she can help you get your life back.
Like I did.
So this was wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So for those that are listening on the replay, um, now I forgot what I was gonna say. There was something I was gonna say.
Oh,
Um, it just slipped my mind.
I hate when that happens because it's so much.
'Cause it is so much. Exactly, it is so much. But make sure to reach out to Cheryl because she helps with getting your life back. Because we do go through different things like in life, and we do make choices, and really we make choices based on the knowledge that we have.
That's right.
So when we don't have the right knowledge, we don't make the right choice.
Hmm.
So even though the choices that we made is because it's based on the knowledge. So the word says we perish for lack of knowledge.
That's
So
right.
we need to gain the right knowledge,
Yes.
and we will be on the path of properly owning our lives because that's another key, right? Another key to owning our lives. So with that, I thank you. And for those anybody that are owning their lives and would like to come on and share their story, send me a message. And just Cheryl on her pages, follow me, follow us, and you will see the proper way to own your life. So with that, and always remember too that there is always hope. Even though we're going through the different things that's going on in the world,
Right.
I don't even like to really talk about it so much because what you talk about, you bring about. Right? Our words are so important. So I don't like to talk about it, but just showing this is just showing that even though all those things are happening,
Hmm.
still on your life, still on your life, and that there is always hope. So with that, thank you again, and I will see you on the net. And good night, everybody. Be well. Until the next time.
Bye.
Bye.